Hey there, guys. Destin Custer here. And, I just want to take some time out and talk to you for a few minutes. I actually had a really neat experience yesterday. I went through and we actually run one of those 5 mile obstacle course slash, mud runs. And, it was interesting. It was the first time I've ever done one. And, admittedly, I'm not always in the best of health. I've been sick over a couple of weeks here and, just not feeling well, things like that. But, I haven't done the best, admittedly, of staying in shape. But, the one thing that really stood out to me, right before we went on the run, there was a gentleman, kind of talking to the crowd and things like that. And, he said two things that really stood out to me. And the first one is that obsessed is just a word that lazy people use to describe the dedicated, right? And then the second is, he said the courage isn't that you finish, or the miracle isn't that you finish, but it's that you had the courage to start. And, I look at that two ways, I'm not going to say I'm one of these people that's dedicated or a zealot, when it comes to my health. I am that way in my business. And I've always been a guy who, whatever I do it full force, and I do it with everything that I have. And, I look at this and, I like to think that whatever comes to me, I know that I'm going to be able to get through it. And I remember in the days when I worked at the carnival, which some of you may or may not know that I did that for a while. I was always that guy that, it wasn't a problem for me to stay up and work this, hard manual labor for hours upon hours. And, I would go through and, I would just get it done. I would go past the normal limits of a person's body, muscles locking up, things like that. And I wouldn't quit. I just wouldn't give up. And I've carried that through with everything that I do today. Yeah, there may be some things that I still need to work on, but you know what? I'm going to be the guy that no matter what it takes, no matter how bad it hurts, no matter how tired or stressed or whatever else, I'm going to get through it. And, and I proved that to myself yesterday as well. Again, we did a 5K earlier this year, but that was over, basically flat ground. And, compared to this, that 5K was a walk in the park. This was a full 5 miles, through some crazy obstacles, up hills, down hills, and these big mud pits. You had to swim across the pond. And, oh, by the way, it was only about 45 degrees most of the day yesterday. And, the thing is yeah, some people would look at that and go, what are you thinking, right? But I look at it as, for me, it was a challenge. I wanted to prove to myself and not anybody else that I could do it. And, I made it through. It wasn't easy. I wasn't the first person to finish. I wasn't the last person to finish. But what matters is that I actually went through and got this done. I accomplished it. And I think the lesson here is that no matter what stands in front of you, the difference between a person that has success and accomplishes their goals and finishes the task at hand really comes down to dedication and perseverance. Are you going to be that person that actually goes through and does what they say they're going to do? That no matter what comes at you, that you're going to push through it. Whether your body hurts, whether you're tired, if you have to put in extra hours, whatever it is, are you that person? Because if you're not, you're going to have a hard time. And you're especially going to have a hard time in this business, in this industry that I call my own now. Not everybody is built for this, but you can learn to do this stuff, no matter what, right? But you're going to have to put in the hours. You're going to have to put in the time. It's not just boom and it's push button, right? I've been doing this for a little while now, and I look back and I see everything that I've gone through, financially, emotionally, spiritually, as I've come across through this journey, and I know that I still have a good ways to go, right? But I'm still in a place where I know that I want to help people, and I know that to do that, I'm going to have to be that guy that works really, really hard. I'm going to have to be the guy that is willing to go until I literally fall asleep at my desk, if that's what it takes, right? I'm willing to do that. I'll put my head down here on the desk, nap it out for a couple of minutes and then go right back, if that's what I have to do, right? There were times yesterday where I had to stop and catch my breath and stop and, stretch out the cramps, things like that. We got to the last two obstacles, and the last one was this thing they call the shoe snatcher, which basically you go into this mud pit and it's waist deep, and literally I got down into that mud and my calves just totally locked up on me. And I thought, oh no, this is, and we're right at the end, you're like 4.5 miles into this thing. And, I just thought that my body was going to shut down. But I said, you know what? I'm going to get up. I was literally sitting in the mud, okay? It felt like I was in quicksand. And I just said to myself, you know what? This isn't so bad. It could be worse. Get yourself up. You're almost there. And that was the difference. And I got up, from that one and stretched out and had a little bit of a breather, and I kept going, and I went through the next obstacle, and then that last little walk, to the finish line. And, it was surreal to me, and I got it done, just by the sheer effort, by telling myself that, you know what, this is not so bad. I can do this. It could be a lot worse. Everybody, every muscle in my body could be locked up. Or, I could be in a position where I couldn't physically do that, right? But I was able to, and I was able to make this happen just by taking the time and pushing myself and knowing that the end was going to come. Right? And for you, that end goal, your end game, it's going to come. You're going to get to where you want to be as long as you stay the course and you persevere. You have dedication, right? And that you're also willing to start. I could have just said yesterday we got there and the weather was, not so nice and it was raining and things like that. And I said, you know what? This is an experience. I'm just going to do it. But I could have just said, no, I'm not going to do it. And, what would that have got me? I would have had no clue if I would have been able to do it or not, right? And yeah, maybe I hurt a little bit today, but you know what? It was worth it. I had fun. It was a blast. Yeah, it was physically hard, but I made it through. And what I want you guys to know is no matter what comes into your path, I'm here. I'm going to be that guy that goes through and pushes myself. I'm going to push those people around me. I'm going to be there to help you, and pull you through when you get stuck, whatever it is. That's what I'm here for. That's my goal, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this. You have an absolutely phenomenal day.